In today's video, we're gonna show you how to install an F90 M5 DINAN exhaust to take this car from this to sounding like this. Now, the first part of this process is to get the vehicle off the ground. As you can see, we're using a lift today, but that's more for camera angle. If I was doing this in my garage, I would use something like race ramps, which are affordable, and they're very safe to get the car above your head. So with that, let's get started. First thing you're going to need is a 10mm and an 8mm because we need to remove this cover. So I'm gonna start with the 8mm, which are along the back, and remove those. Then we're gonna switch it over to a 10 and remove these two. And these two are just plastic, looks like that. Be careful lowering this down so you don't get junk in your eye. Next, what we need to do is we need to make two cuts. We need to make a cut here and here, but don't worry, it's not very intimidating at all. We're going to be doing it with basic hand tools. We have a $15 tool we're gonna show you how to use from Amazon. So what we need to do is we need to get our measure point. You're going to measure from the weld over here, from the center of the pipe, over this way, 11 3/4 inches. Put this here at the center, and we're gonna put this over here at the center as well. And this part's very important, so make sure that you take your time to measure it accurately. And then what I like to do is I like to make sure that it's exactly where I want it to be. All right, that one's good. We can do the same thing on the other side. So now that I have that mark, I'm going to draw a square line. I have a reference point on where I need to be. Now, if I was doing this off camera, I would use the Sawzall and we just lop this thing off. Makes a super clean cut, but for you guys at home, you might not want to do that. So we're going to use a very basic Amazon exhaust cutter. All the tools and products and everything are gonna be listed for you down below. All you need to do, put this over here. And you spread this out. You go to the smallest one that you can do. Make sure everything is right where you want it, like that. You're going to apply some light to moderate pressure, rock it back and forth. You don't need to go crazy on it. Let the wheels do the cutting. You switch to the next one smaller. There you go. All right, now let's do the other side. There we go. All right, check out how clean the cut is. Look at that, not too bad at all. I'll just take a file and clean it up a little bit more, but overall, great cut. Next, what you wanna do is remove the valve control connection. So there's one right here. You just press down this little tab and pull it off, and then do the same on the other side. There's a little tab right there. Press down, pulls right out. And then there's two 13mm that hold the exhaust on from here. One is up here, and the other is over here. Then you can carefully lower it down. Now what you're going to do is take these two clamps, you're gonna slide it on, and you're gonna slide it on all the way, and then we're gonna feed the exhaust into it. So I am always very conscious of where these bolts are for when I go to tighten it. I want it over here. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this. So both are on the outer section, just like that. Now all we need to do is transfer over the exhaust hanger, the valve actuators, and then we can hang it. It's as simple as that. So we have this little puller tool. You don't need it. It makes your life a little bit easier. Basically, you slide the fork end down there, and then you just press. And because of the positioning on this, it is a little bit awkward. You just wiggle it back and forth. They come off pretty easy, okay? And then what I like to do is I like to take it and immediately transfer it over to the exact position it needs to be. You do the same on this side. That goes over here. Then you're going to take the two included 13mm nuts. You're gonna tighten those on the end to hold the hanger in place. All right, so now what we need to do is install the brackets for the actuators for your valve. So this is gonna sit just like this. Then in the kit, you have short bolts and you have long bolts. This is going to be the short bolt with a washer on it. So one's gonna go here like that, and that'll kind of hold it in place. Then you get the second one. Then the third one goes inside. And then I'm gonna tighten these up with a 5mm. Then we're gonna remove the valve. It's just held in by three 10mm bolts. I'm gonna take that off like that. Then included in the hardware pack is going to be a part that looks like this. This gets mounted just like that. And you're gonna twist this so that it lines up. And this little groove is going to slide into there. Then with the long bolts that are provided, you're gonna pop a washer on. You're gonna pop it all the way through, put a washer on the bottom, a locking washer, and then a nut. Then do the same with the other two. Then with a 10mm on the back, you can tighten it down with that 5mm again. Then we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. All right, so now it's time to put the exhaust up. I'm going to lift it up, put on the 13mm over here and over there. Then I'm going to line up this pipe with this and this one with that side. And then once you have it next to each other, you can slide the clamp over. So let's see if I can do it by myself. Okay, so then with the 13mm, we can tighten up our clamp. We'll do the same on the other side. Push it in, and then hit it home. Then what you need to do, disconnect this because you need a little bit more distance, and then route it over, pop it in. If you want, you could try to slide this back, and that way, it still plugs in nice. So now what we can do is install the tips. To install the tips, you're going to need a 16mm socket. What I like to do is pre-tighten these up a little bit so that way they're not wiggling around a lot when we slide it on. Then what you want to do is you want to slide it on, and this part of the end is dead center, so you want to make sure that is up. Then when it comes to positioning, I like to have them in a little bit more. If you want to have it out so you can see the whole DINAN name on both the left and the right tips, that is completely up to you. There's a lot of personal preference. I don't like them to be sticking out too far, but you can still see DINAN and it looks amazing. So I'm gonna have it so it's just past the bumper. This line over here is dead straight up, so I can tighten this one down. And then while I have that positioning in my brain, I'm gonna do it over here, make it look the same, and then I'll tighten this one down. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to align the outer tips, make sure that you have it straight up, and then I am going to have it so this tip comes about halfway to the end. And again, this is personal preference. If you want them sticking out further, you are more than welcome to do that. Then I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to line it up with the D, go about halfway. All right, now that the tips are fully aligned, we can put the car on the ground. The installation is done, and it's time to see how it sounds. As you've now seen and heard, not only does DINAN's exhaust for the F90 M5 look great, but it sounds amazing too. One thing I love about DINAN is they're never going to be the loudest exhaust. You're not going to annoy your neighbors with it. It is still a valve system. It uses the factory valve system so you can quiet it down or make it louder, but it's not going to be unbearable when you're driving, especially if you're on a date with your wife. Anyway, if you're looking for one for your F90 M5, be sure to see the links down in the description. Once again, my name is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies. For more content, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned, and check us out at kies.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.